Everyone, James Holtz here, my special guest today in today's podcast for what makes a real leader. So welcome, Braden. Good to have you, brother.
It's nice to be here. I enjoy it.
Good. Beautiful. So Braden and I talk a lot, and I've overheard him talking to people. I've overheard him leading people. Our first call is him even talking to me, asking great questions. Has been very helpful. And I wanted to have Braden on my show because he is really, really good at talking to people, asking questions, getting people clear on their mission, on their purpose, the direction they want, who the heck they are, who they want to be, who they want to lead, however you lead, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a speaker, whether you're a corporate leader, whoever you are, he's really, really good at that. So Braden, welcome and tell us what are some things leaders really need to get clear on in order to lead others or even lead themselves first? Let's talk about that.
Well, it's nice to be here. Thank you. But
Pleasure.
I found that the reason why I appreciate asking others questions is because, well, that was how I grew up. I was one of those kids that always asked why this, why that, and how can we make it different? But only going through your course was I able to learn that different people, different personalities need different questions, whether it be why, what, or how. And I really appreciated that because I was able to clarify. I was able to define my questions better for that type of person. So thank you for that. I find that the reason why what makes a leader better is understanding their direction, having clarity, and decisiveness on what direction they're going to go. And ultimately, we can have the world that we want as long as we clarify what it is. So helping others clarify their direction, their mission in life is something I get a kick out of. I claim to have more faith in you and more faith in you than you have in yourself. So it's pretty cool.
Fair enough. It's interesting. And that oftentimes that's what I tell people. My job is to believe in you and see the destination for you until you believe in you and until you see that destination and see that it's possible for you. So I love that you said that. Resonates with me as well, for sure. So talk to me. How does someone get clear on the purpose, their vision? Because a lot of us don't know what we want, or we haven't thought about it. We haven't written it down. Talk to us about that. What's a good way to even figure out what the hell we want? Because then we can take action towards it.
Well, honestly, what's the biggest valley that you've gone through? Are you on the other side yet? Because you can honestly make a significantly good career helping other people overcome that significant valley. Sure. And would that be worthy? Would you have wished that somebody helped you through your depressed state or your large valley that you had to overcome? Being able to help others bridge that valley is just a phenomenal experience. So understanding what you've overcome or understanding what you want to do and just what you have natural talents at. So whether it's me just asking questions. Okay, well, if I ask questions very well, but can't labor anymore, well, I should probably be a coach, or I should probably do something that will help contribute to other people, because ultimately that's all I care about. Is as introverted as I am, I care about people a lot. So it's really cool.
I see that. And I see that, again, like I said, as introverted as you may or may not be, I see the passion and the desire to help people in you, so much so that it helps you get past that introversion. And I've heard you on calls, on groups, in the mastermind. I've heard you in different trainings, and naturally leading people. And as I say, if you want to be a real leader, take responsibility for what you want. Leader or not, just take responsibility for what you want in your life if you want it to happen. It doesn't mean you have to do it all. You could delegate, you can hire people. And instead of abdicating the role and having zero view, zero responsibility, it's that taking responsibility. And one of the things that impressed me so much about you was our very first call. You said to me, James, I'm curious, what is your vision? How do I support you? I want to know what your vision is, which is important because if you don't know someone's vision, how the hell are you going to support them to get there? And thus, how are you an effective leader? So that was, where does that come from? Like you naturally asked me some great questions. What's your vision? What do you want? What gets in your way? Where does that come from? Because that's not everyone does that. It's not natural to everyone, and it's very natural to you, which was why I was very impressed.
I think one of the reasons why I recognize that people need to be asked these questions is because 9 times out of 10, somebody of your stature, a teacher, a book author, and a leader of what you do. Well, not too many people ask you, so it is just a give take. And the more that I can give to you, the more tipping that I'll receive.
Well, and that's a fair point too, and that brings back that law of influence, or key to influence is that reciprocity. You being interested in me, wanting to help me, knowing about me. Again, because how the heck do you serve, support, help someone, work with someone, be in relationship with someone if you don't know the important things about them? If you just ask the superficial things or the pretty things, we talk about the nice to talk about things, or the things that are not taboo to talk about. How you really effectively lead someone and get to know someone and know if you even want to work with them anyways. Yeah. Right. And it's interesting because working in different corporate environments and mentoring different leaders, different mentors, different people, it's interesting how often these conversations stay very superficial. And there's not a lot of reciprocity. It's like, okay, you're my employee. What can you do to me? Or you're my vendor. You're my whatever. I pay you. What can you do for me? Versus that reciprocal and wanting to help whatever side you're on, whether you're on the buying side, the leader side, whether you're on the subordinate side or the vendor side. It was interesting. Like I keep going back to our first talk, because you were very curious and interested. And I guess that almost gives us a theme learning from you. I think that everyone can learn from. Be interested in people versus be trying to be interesting and, I know this and that, I'm so good and so great. Because remember, people don't often care about us. They care about, what we can do for them. So the more interested in their lives, I feel, we can be, the more interesting we are. We don't even need to try to be interesting, right?
Right.
Yeah. And you're very great at creating rapport with people. You're very great at getting people to like you, to value you, to want to work with you. Talk to us more about how to do that. Because again, a very effective leader is good at that. An effective leader, coach, mentor, salesperson is very good at that. How are you so effective at getting people to like you, to want to do business with you, to work with you, support you?
Well, I'm just a great guy. So it's genetics and personality, I suppose. But honestly, it is a matter of caring for the person. I care about you significantly, or I care about the other person significantly. So it is a matter of how can I help you with every question. Like the questions I ask, they're not for me. They're for you. I'm asking you questions so that you can gain clarity on you. I'm asking you questions so that you can understand what direction you want to go. I'm asking you questions that you've never asked yourself. And ultimately, by the more that we interact, the more you'll be able to identify what direction you can or want to go, for that matter. What milestones you have to overcome next. Like are you a person that celebrates your wins, or are you a person that just moves on to the next task because it has to be done? Because for all my life so far, I have been one of those guys that just moves on to the next task, and I never really celebrated my wins, and only recently I'm learning to. So I find that it's nice. It definitely allows me more space, more room to enjoy myself, enjoy my life, enjoy my activities. And the more that I do that, well, the happier I am. The more I'm willing to help myself, because I am a person that I care about. And if I was a person that I'm that I cared about, like how would I want to treat me?
Hmm.
And I don't know. I'm screwing up Jordan Peterson's quote significantly right now in this moment, but it's I get a lot from Jordan Peterson. I like him. He's a good guy.
Mm. And it's interesting. So it seems like a great theme here, based on your work in your life, and I resonate with that. To be influential, to be likable, to be a great leader, to be revered. It's to give more than you take, instead of making it all about you and what this person can do for me. Well, what can I do for this person? How can I help them? How can I make their life better? How can I inspire them? How can I get them to where they want to go? And whatever leader you are, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're an entrepreneur, a corporate leader, a mentor, coach, alligator wrestler, whatever you are, a kangaroo chaser, I don't know. It sounds like it's all about giving people more than we take. And again, that's one of the rules of reciprocity as well. One of the rules of influence and persuasion is reciprocity. Give and you'll get. I mean, Ivan Meisner, founder of BNI, he has this whole rule of, he calls it givers gain. Givers who gain, people who give will gain, and it's around the same theme. But it seems like to gain, you give first, and you get that principle. You need most times, if not always, to give first, and then people will want to give. They'll feel obliged to give to you. In fact, most people, anyways, will feel obliged.
True.
And yeah, the ones that take, well, then there's boundaries. You can have those boundaries for those.
What are those?
What's that?
What are those? What are boundaries?
Too funny.
No,
Too
I
funny.
found that the more that I was doing acts of service, the more that I was helping others, the less that I would dwell in my negative self-talk, or
Yes.
the less that I would shame, guilt, shame, remorse, criticize myself, judge, ridicule, condemn. So if I can be of service to others, then instead of shaming myself, then I'd rather help others. And the more that I help others, the more happier I get, the more just peace of mind I get. It's like, it's not that I need to do these acts of service for others,
Mhm.
but it's like good karma. It helps me to helps me to give more pats on my back, attaboys, stuff like that.
Well, not just that, but it's fulfilling, it's purposeful, versus doing everything for ourselves and me. You raised a really good point. There's I call it the black hole of life, right? Or the never-ending pit of life. If we look for crap in life, we're gonna find it. Stuff happens to us every day. And I was just telling you, I've got a lot done today. It was a very successful day. I got a lot done. Nothing that I needed to get done. Lots of stuff that were valuable to get done, but nothing I needed to get done. But when we look at life, there's a lot of good stuff in life. There's a lot of bad stuff. And so the further away from this sort of event horizon, if you will, or the enter to the black hole, the further away we get, the more fulfilled we are. The little stuff doesn't bug us. And I mean, you can be all about yourself, but you're not very far away from this never-ending pit, or this getting sucked in this black hole, and woe is me, and life is this and that. The further you are away and focusing on relationships and a team, or a group, or a community, or a society, or humanity, the world, you name it, up and up and higher and higher. I mean, do you think if Mother Teresa's car broke down, she was overly, bummed by it? No, she was helping the world. Or, Mahatma Gandhi, anyone, any of these people, Sir Richard Branson, all these, Nelson Mandela, if there's something little happened, do you think it ruined their day? Probably not, because their focus is up here, helping others, helping the world, making a difference, and making an impact. It's a very, very easy way to get fulfilled and purposeful, and to not have the little crap that life throws at us every day to not bother us. In fact, I think that's why we get it thrown at us every day. It's to say, pay attention, silly. Pay attention, dum-dum. When you focus here, you're focused all about yourself. There's a mismatch here, and of course it's going to bug you. Focus higher. Focus on something else. Serve people. Help people. Make a difference. And wow, is it ever fulfilling? Wow, is my life ever fulfilling? And you've been involved in a lot of what I do with the NLP training, the mastermind, things I do, and you see I give my best. I'm not perfect, and I do give my best, and it's very fulfilling. It's the quickest way out of depression, anxiety, melancholy, just being ho hum and kind of blasé about life. It's just that helping others making a difference. And like you said, asking great questions. You get great questions, you'll get great answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I find it intriguing that I once heard that Mother Teresa would never support an anti-war rally, but she would go to a world peace rally.
Mm,
So it just really helped me learn about the words that we use create the thoughts and our actions, our behavior, our
true.
personality. So it's intriguing on what we dwell on magnifies, whether it's a matter of me dwelling on back surgeries or back pains, or whether it's me dwelling on the island that I want to get. It's
Right on.
still a matter of me obsessing, and still a matter of it's going to grow.
Hmm. I agree. And what I've taught you is what we obsess about, what we have on our minds all day. It's what we get. So be careful, people, with what you have on your mind all day. If it's being so successful, helping people, making a difference, being impactful, and from that getting so rich that you have your own island, Braden, that's what we get. If you focus on your back or pain or life or whatever, then well, we're going to get that too. You're directly talking to your brain. You're programming your reticular activating system, your RAS. Go look it up. It's neuroscience. What we obsess about, we get. And I'm glad you said that, because I think that's one of the last notes to leave this on. What do you want? What do you want to be known for? Who do you want to be known for? And is it worth pushing past the fear, the worry about what will people think about me, or what will people say or think if I fail, or if I screw it up, or if I'm humiliated? Do you really care? Do you think people are going to remember in a day or a week or a month or a year? So much happens and life happens so fast these days. You really think, look at all the scandals that have happened over the past few years. Is that talked about at all? Do people remember, or is there new stuff in life, new things that happen? Do you think really someone's going to worry that you failed or something didn't work? And, I'm not going to belabor that whole failure way to success and, no failure, only feedback, but it's true as well. And what is the cost of living a life unlived and worrying about failure or it not working, or losing a bit of money or losing a bit of time versus, wow, I wish I had have, I wish I could, I should have, I shouldn't have, I really wanted to, wow, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. What's the cost? Right. So that's a really good.
It cost me quite a few years. I'd say I was asking myself, I wish I could have, or what if this happened, or what if I never did that? I went through 20 years of that. So I'm grateful that I'm on the other side of the fence on that question now. And now it is a matter of how do I move forward? Now that I know where I'm going, it's just constant action moving forward. So I really appreciate it.
You got it, brother. You got it. Thank you. Thank you. What would be a last thought you leave people with too, whether it's purpose, fulfillment, leading, mentoring people? And I think a real leader is also a mentor or coach. I'm sure you'd agree with me. A real leader will also mentor, coach, talk, have conversations with people. And I think a real leader, you're a therapist a lot of the time for your teams, your staff, your people, your customers, your employees, your vendors, whoever it is, your outside people. I think you're really a therapist half or a coach half the time. And my motto is the best leaders are also coaches, because we're always mentoring, coaching people in some way. What's the last thought you want to leave people with? What's a really valuable thought we should leave people with today?
I think right now in this moment, my mission in life is I'm the advocate for meaning and purpose. I'm the advocate for meaning and purpose because it'll help you understand where you're going. It'll help you understand that you'd be able to overcome your addictions, whether it be sex, drugs, TV, or gambling, whatever it is. But if you live a life towards your meaning and purpose, then you'll have less temptation to succumb to what today's society, I suppose.
Fair.
But yeah, understand where you're going. That's pretty much how I design my coaching package. So it's all about moving the other person forward.
Very cool. Very good. And I agree with you. The more purpose, meaning, fulfillment you have in your life, the less you need anything else. Drugs, booze, sex, food. Food is one of the biggest drugs there is. What I miss, all the fun stuff: sex, drugs, rock and roll, food, booze, gambling. I might have hit them all. You're right, because it's just a band-aid, or pushing it down, numbing the pain, or, oh, I don't want to think about that right now, or, oh, I don't want to feel that right now. And we numb it, and it doesn't go anywhere. It just festers and gets worse and worse. So like a smoldering fire, it gets worse and worse and worse, even though I'm not paying attention, and no, that's not there. Let me push that down. Let me ignore that. I think you're right. It's looking at that, and always looking at our stuff that limits us. Because when you do, you start chipping away at that, eventually it disappears, and you're unstoppable.
Exactly.
Unstoppable leader. Cool. How do people get a hold of you? I'm going to flash it up here on the screen. Talk to us. How do people get a hold of you? They want to reach you, talk to you, have you ask them some questions, work with you?
Yeah, well, that's my information on there, and Mastermind My Life. I haven't built my website yet, but I just got the domain, Mastermind My Life.
Nice.
It's my intention to have. Well, there's a lot of valleys that I have overcome. So therefore, if I can hold masterminds in each one of them, it'd be really cool. It would be a matter of ADHD on Tuesday at 4, or building a business on Thursday at 2.
Right, brother. I love it. I love it. And yeah, your masterminds, your coach, I think, is incredible for people getting clear on what they want, who they are, what's in it for them, what's the cost if they don't act. I think that's amazing. I love how you empower, leaders, mentors, coaches, people that want to make a difference and want to help others, and give them clarity, direction. I think that's an amazing mission and journey. So I appreciate you being here. Thanks for helping me give value and do what I love as well, Braden. Appreciate your time, man.
For sure. Thanks, James. Appreciate it.
Amazing. Thank you. And